for hosting. We're back here for the invite, and please bear with me. I'm struggling, but I'm here, so let's do this. Happy to be here to talk a little bit about a philosophy that's kind of been in the works for the last 20 plus years. Just out of curiosity, what are some of the first things that come to your head when you see these three words on the screen? Just go ahead and start shouting things out.
Mindset.
Mindset.
Academics.
Academics.
Mentality.
Mentality.
Priorities.
Priorities.
Ways of life.
Ways of life. Any others?
Balance.
Competition. Balance. I love it. All great answers. Life over sport, to me, it's a vision. It's a mentality. It's a philosophy. It's really become a lifestyle, to be honest with you. That really focuses on the life lessons that you can learn through sport, through competition, and being a part of something bigger than yourself. A few common themes that we stress in our programs: the process, okay, over the result, the journey versus the destination, and probably arguably the most important is we're always going to try and treat the person before the player. Who you are off the field is always going to outweigh what you can do for us on the field. And an interesting component of life over sport is that it can really be applied to anything. It can be applied to life over academics. It can be applied to life over art, life over dance, life over theater, life over music, because at its philosophical core, life over sport has not a lot to do with what you're doing, but it has everything to do with the person that you are becoming while doing it. Let me say that one more time. So at its philosophical core, life over sport has very little to do with what you're actually doing, and it has everything to do with the person that you are becoming while doing it. So that's a little bit about what life over sport is. We're going to transition into this next slide. I don't know if we can have a couple of the girls read it out loud for the affect. So, go ahead.
What we are becoming is more important than what we are accomplishing.
So I came across that line, I don't know, probably decades ago, to be honest with you, when I was just getting into the whole educational and athletic arena. And that's something that has kind of stayed with me ever since, and has probably been the foundation for everything that I believe in. Next slide is, we're going to talk about the how. So how do I incorporate this vision? How do I incorporate this mindset? How do I, get the kids to buy into this philosophy, if you will? Pretty simple. Create a vision, help paint a picture, and begin every season, every journey with the end in mind. We're real big on culture in our programs. I think anyone who comes through the soccer or tennis programs, we're going to do a lot of team building exercises, trust exercises, books, videos, articles, journaling, anything that pertains to the whole self-discovery aspect of what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, again, it's always going to be life over sport. So here's an example. By a show of hands, Coach John Wooden. Anybody? Everybody is known? Yeah, little shout out to Coach Wooden. A massive mentor throughout my early childhood, throughout all of my coaching years. He obviously came up with his pyramid of success. This is not Coach Wooden's pyramid of success. This is Viewpoint Varsity Girls Tennis Team 2016 pyramid of success. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a team building exercise that I did with our girls in September. Started off with Craig Didden. Didden, where are you? There you are, buddy. I asked Didden if we can use his room for an afternoon practice. We shut down tennis and decided that we wanted to place an emphasis on our identity. What type of team did we want to be? What type of season did the girls want to have and experience? And so we broke up our team of 12 into 4 groups of 3. I handed each group of 3 an official John Wooden pyramid of success with some paper and a pen. Gave them about 10 to 15 minutes to then make up and come up with their own pyramid of success. We spent the next 10 to 12 minutes kind of giving each group an opportunity to go up to the whiteboard, draw out their diagram, and explain each of their 15 building blocks and why they felt those were necessary. We then collaborated and spent the next 10 minutes voting on which 15 blocks they felt that they really wanted to encapsulate what this journey meant to them. And so this is kind of the result. I gave the artwork to 2 junior leaders, Emily Garber and Hannah Rosenberg. Thank you very much. I don't know, I think EG's here. And within 48 hours, this is what we came up with. Took it to Kinko's, printed it out on a nice little cardboard backing, and handed these out at our year of the season. So this is something so small, it took a little over an hour, and yet this is something that they're going to probably have for them, hopefully, for the rest of their lives. Ended up being arguably, I'll say it, you know, one of the best, if not the best seasons in my 17 years here at Deep Point School. And again, it had nothing to do with winning. It had nothing to do with hanging a banner or winning a CIF championship, wearing a ring, whatever it is. It had everything to do with the process of buying in, the process of becoming something bigger than yourself. My bad. Sorry. Go back. Okay, and finally, last but not least, the platform, the layout of this presentation is based off of Simon Sinek. I'm sure some of you have heard of Simon Sinek, very famous kind of entrepreneur leadership speaker that came up with his theory of the golden circle. And so the golden circle is this. He said most organizations, most companies, most average leaders operate from the outside in. They go from what's most clear to what's least clear and fuzzy. He's like, but the great ones operate from the inside out. They don't tell you necessarily what they're doing and how they're doing it. They tell you why. Because when you speak about the why, you speak to the emotional aspect of things. You speak to the heart. You speak to the fabric of what we're doing here. So what's my why for Life Over Sport? I can go on and on and on, but I won't. It really comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to relationships, and it comes down to connection. Because that, at the end of the day, is what life is about. To be in a position to help empower these young men and women, to be in a position to help lead, to help motivate, to help inspire, to help drive. It is just kind of the greatest gift that I've been giving, and I'm so fortunate to be living my why each and every single day, and I challenge you guys to think about what's your why moving forward. The next slide is going to be a short little 35-second video of the girls varsity soccer team. They've had a fantastic season thus far. They've already earned a share of a league championship, so congratulations, ladies. Girls have been dealing with a lot of adversity. We lost one of our senior captains to a concussion. Early in the year, we lost another senior leader, one of our best midfielders, to a concussion. We lost our outside back to an ACL. Just a ton of adversity each and every day. Something else comes up, and they just play without fear, and they play for each other. They truly embody the spirit of Life Over Sport. And so this last Saturday, we were on the road at Brentwood. We played a game on Tuesday, we played a game on Thursday, and we had another game on Saturday. So this was our third game in 4 or 5 days, which is just insane. And we felt like we needed to do a little something different to kind of get them all in the right mindset. And so we printed out the Nelson Mandela speech, or part of it, his quote from his inaugural speech, and gave it to the group to read before the game. They went on to avenge one of their only losses of the year in a super grind fest, and ended up coming out on the winning side by a score of 2-1. And afterwards, I thought, let's take a moment and kind of reconnect and just kind of remember, you know, why we're doing what we're doing. And this is kind of the
This
result.
fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. You play small does not serve the world. There is nothing intelligent about treating so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It is not just in us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are not living from our own fear, our president automatically liberates others!
So in closing, the athletic arena, which I've been so fortunate to be a part of for 20 plus years, is always going to represent something much greater than a score at the end of a match. It's always going to represent something much bigger than anything that you can hang in a gym or wear on your hand. It's going to represent the life lessons learned through the grind, through the journey, through the process. Because at the end of the day, you know, these are all the same lessons that you're going to be used to participate in the much bigger game that all of us participate in every single day, the game of life. So, thank you. Appreciate it.